Hello, friend. This is Legal Design Thinking in Real Life, and I'm your host, Hannele Korhonen. And this live series is brought to you by Lawyers Design School, that is a learning hub for lawyers and legal teams to adopt the skills and mindset of legal design. My guest today is Fernanda Guerra. She's a lawyer and she's specialized in conscious contracts. So that's what we are going to talk about today, conscious contracts, what they are, what they look like in real life, and how you can use them and why you should use them. Very, very interesting, because I think this topic is closely related to legal design as well. So we will explore that perspective today as well. Hello, Fernanda, and welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So great to have you. And you are joining us from Brazil, right?
Yes, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
That's amazing. I was just telling Fernanda before we started that it's snowing here in Helsinki, so very different weather conditions from Rio.
Yeah, it's hot and humid.
For
We have
sure.
just summer and rain season because
Yeah.
we not having cold weather here.
If you are watching this live, please join the discussion in the chat and tell us where you are joining us today. It's always so fun to see people from all over the world joining here together. But I'm very excited to get into today's topic. But before we do that, let's start with you, Fernanda. Can you give us your short introduction and story?
Okay. So first, thank you for this invite. I really admire your work. You inspire me a lot because you are one of the pioneers of legal design. So we share this mindset because I think it's more than two. It's a mindset for thinking in legal system. So um, I was a lawyer uh, during 18 years. My practice is completely traditional, and then I feel really disappointed with traditional tools to deal with the conflict, to go to the court, and I really, in that time, want to give up, and so we do another thing, and then and somehow the universe put in front of me an American lawyer, and she shared with me conscious contract. And that time it was the beginning of 19th, and she is in Brazil. And then when I met King Wright, and she talking about conscious contract, I feel like I have a hope to continue in a legal system, being a lawyer. And then so I start to develop a method to using conscious contract here in Brazil. And since then, I have a love for specializing doing conscious contract. And what is it, conscious contract? That is the point. Conscious contract, it's a relationship approach for legal documents, all kind of documents. And so, of course, we developed that using a legal design approach to deal with the people that involve it. But the difference and the high spot of conscious contract is to put the relationship in the paper. So values, needs, expectation, exchange, and during this process that we build in the conscious contract with the clients, we develop self-managed clause of conflict. And so, of course, nowadays we have mediation, arbitration, and so this is things that we have in the law system. But more than that, how you deal with your conflict, the conflict that you have in your life. So the conscious court not avoid the conflict, but brace the conflict and realize that the conflict is part of the relationship. So when you are with other people, the conflict appear. It's the way that we we are growing. It's during the crisis, during the conflict. So how we can deal with the change of the relationship, the conflict that we have during the relationship, and put this to develop more our relationship, put this to develop more the business. So we with this clause, sometimes I have a client that use dance, meditation, walking in the beach, surfing, cooking, to try to solve the problems in a group. So that's I think it's the high spot in conscious contract to put this as a resolution clause.
That's so interesting. Interesting way of put it, that you don't kind of hide away from the conflict, but embrace that as part of the relationship. That's a very because many times we just focus on how to avoid any conflicts or how to avoid any risks, but how to actually take that into account in the entire process.
And I think that is my most painful things when I was traditional lawyer, because I start my day to try to avoid conflict, and I realize the conflict always on the table. So I try to avoid and the conflict coming, and so when I realize that if you are assume that it's part of life, we can see that problem in another how. That is to see the conflict not as a problem, but really it's something that's normal, because the other people is different from you, and it's normal to be in the challenging when you are with a different people, because I think we have the mindset everybody's like you, have the same experience, and it's not true. Even you have the same experience. We can see the brothers have the same experience in life, but we have another different strategy to deal with that in the world. And that's the point. During the process to building that with the client, we have a lot of kind of tool like nonviolent communication. Sometimes I using constellation, all the things that I was interesting, that I read and have a kind of how can I say, I my toolbox. I put all my toolbox to doing that, and so I try to say to my client that, so other people, it's different from you. There is no common sense. There is no regular human being. Everybody is different, and so and you are different. So let's say that with each other and deal with that. Realize that the other people can react different from you in the same situation. And when we react in different, how we can do with that. And more than that, sometimes it's not a big conflict, but just change. So if nowadays I decide to go to Helsinki and live in Helsinki, how I can deal with my partner in my law firm? We need to broke? No, we need to deal with that. So it's a way to having a tough conversation, because the life is about having a tough conversation all the time. We can hire ourselves for that.
I couldn't agree more. And the longer you postpone those tough conversations, the harder they actually get.
Yeah, that's the point, because we think it's not. And here in Latin America, in Brazil, we're talking about that a few minutes ago. We are not direct in the point. we learning to be, it's not so kind to go direct, and so we try to using a beautiful words to say difficult things, and sometimes we are not clear. And when you're thinking about a relationship, a partnership, or a marriage, it can be horrible. The end of that, we have a lot of things that we never talking about it. Money, when I nowadays it's incredible because I started doing conscious contract with a partnership, and nowadays a lot of couples hire me to building a contract for marriage, a prenuptial contract. And it's incredible. The people don't talking about money, don't talking about sex, fidelity, infidelity, the things that happen during the relationship. So we need to talking about that, because if you are assume that it's part of our life, it's easier. We have we feel more relaxed, more freedom, and so that's it. It's put the regular life in the paper, because um, the relation that we have in the contract, they are so important that we need to put in the paper. So let's doing that as important things, not hire a lawyer to put the rules for your life and never see the document, because the document stuff, it's horrible, and we sign that, and then we just take this paper again when we need to broke up. And so it's so tough, it's so cold. So it's not a kind of relationship, because a quality of our life, it's based on our relationship, not based on our bank account. So
For sure. You mentioned already legal design. How would you say that legal design can contribute to conscious contracts? What
I
are
don't
some
know.
concrete ways?
I don't know. So when we are traditional practice, when a client is in front of you, they are start to talking, and you are put all the word that they say in a law. So this problem is about this article, it's about this law. So when you need to building a contract like that, we need another process, and so we are not learning that in the school. So what kind of process you can building to take care of this relationship, the pain that these people have, and that I think it's legal design jump in my process, because it's another mindset to search how I can deal with these people, the word of these people. So how I can put the thing that is important for them, because as a lawyer, we think, this is important, but sometimes the people not bother the same things. So I need to hear, so develop a skill to hear, really hear what my clients want, and then I need to try to think how I can develop the process to put myself in the service of that person, not to think that I know what they want. And so it's a completely different mindset. And study legal design, it support my work to not feel afraid to develop a unique process every time a new client comes to me. So it's not just I use legal design to building the contract itself, but all the process to take care of the clients, the numbers of the meetings, when I call them to see the document, and what kind of question I need to using with them, if I need another kind of professional to help me. So I think all this is about legal design. We need to be open to don't know. And it's a kind of things that as a lawyer, we learning inverse. We learning to pretend that you know everything. it's it's something that we getting sick uh, with this process, because I don't know nothing. I try to learning with my client, and so when I get in touch the first time with the legal design, I feel wow. Okay, it's okay to don't know, because we are teaching to pretend that we know everything.
That's for sure, and it's very uncomfortable, this not knowing, but that's the only way you can actually then hear what other people are saying, and maybe you learn how to ask the right questions rather than just giving the answers that this is how it
That's
goes.
the point. Because if you are know everything, uh, it's just about yourself all the time. That's the point. As a lawyer, we not learning how to communicate in our technical, where you are not learning about to hear other people. We're not learning that we are serving other people, because that people that don't have voice, don't have your space in the world. So if it's about myself all the time, I can see really see the people, and and when I realize that, I feel completely lost. And wow, and so how I can put myself in the service of our other people. And then legal design helped me this all the time, and I say to myself all the time, it's okay not knowing, let's doing this together. And it's incredible because it's uncomfortable, but in other how it's so funny. It's so there is no routine, and it's nice. And life is that. Life is not about security, and that's the point again. As a lawyer, we try to say to our client, please believe in me, you are safe with me, but it's not true. And so it's that's the reason that the lawyer is joking in all the conversation. That's the reason that we abusing of alcohol, with drugs. We having a lot of yeah, we're getting sick. That's the point. And this mindset, traditional mindset, we don't realize that the people that come into us have a trauma. And if you are not here that then we traumatize these people. It's another uh, thing that we don't learn in law school. Nobody comes to my office happy. I'm so happy that I decided to hire you. No, it's never happened. The people always coming with trauma. The people never go to the court happy too. So let's deal with this trauma, and then we're not having to deal with this trauma, and we try to put this trauma outside to legal solution. And how come that? And that's the reason that people, even we go to the court, we in court, the people are not satisfied. Of course, we can deal with that. And of course, I'm not therapist, but I need to say that I saw your pain. And so we have a big trauma, here. So I can deal with that. But I saw your trauma, and I am with you to deal with that. So to see the people, to see the real things that happen, and not try to avoid that because it's not my problem. The people never came here and said to me that having a legal problem, people have a human being problem. So that's it.
Oh, that's so beautifully put. I see your pain. I mean, how we all want to hear that, but we lawyers need to be able to really, really recognize that and say that out loud. I see your pain and I can't make it go away, but I can help you deal with it. Let's talk about these conscious contracts maybe in more concrete terms. Would you have an example to share about maybe a conscious contract project? How does it look like? You said that there are no really, like each case is different, but maybe you can walk us through an example project.
Yeah. And I invite everybody to come to my website. I try to, some of my clients allow me to show the project in my website. And so there is a lot of example. And then, so as I don't know, I try to not using a template. Most of people think it's about having a nice template, a cute template, and not about that. Sometimes the document's not cute. And again, it's an exercise because I decided in my law firm not having a template that I use in all the documents. So the color, the letters, all the things I try to asking to my clients how the way that they really want to see this document, because I want that they using this document as a guide of their lives, as a map road. And so for doing that, I need to hear what the way that they want. And of course, it's a legal document. Maybe it's go to the court. I don't know. And so, but and they need to have all the legal stuff in these documents too. And so I starting to hear them that they needs to develop with them this self-managed conflict clause. And then I put all the legal things that this relationship needs. And then I go to another thing that sometimes is tough, because in terms of design, it's easy to use other tools that's not Word, and the people are more it's more comfortable to use Word, and sometimes we develop documents with just using these two Word or Google Docs. Sometimes the clients can allow me, because they know to use Canvas or another kind of tools. I have a design in my team to develop that, because as a lawyer, I'm a horrible design. I know to use these tools, but I'm not good at. So I'm a mid-age lady with around with 47 years old. So I prefer to draw this in a paper. So I start all documents in a paper. During all the process with my clients, I wrote everything in a paper. My assistant put all the things in the computer. And then when when we finish the process, we sit on the table and thinking what we are going to do with that. And then we starting to thinking about the clients, the things, the insights that we have during the conversation with them, and started to using plain language, and again a design to think how we can organize this contract, and we try to avoid the traditional organize that we use in law, traditional law documents. And so I don't care if I start with the conflict clause and put the object of the contract in the end. I'm not care about that. If the clients want that, why not? There is no law to say that it's prohibited. If it's not prohibited to law, I can do that. And so sometimes it's very tough because our eyes, our mind used to do this during long time. So to see this in other rule, it's tough. And so we start to put this in the paper. And again, another uncomfortable things happen is to show that with the clients. And sometimes clients, most of the time clients like, but sometimes they not like. And we are not used to hear someone to criticize our work, our client, because our client don't know about our work, can't understand, so they not criticize. And this way, I put we then words the legal things, so they can read and criticize. And it's another thing that we need to deal with. The feedbacks is not something that we used to feedbacks. And there is another challenge during this process. It's a feedback, and sometimes another lawyers that saw these documents, and they feel very uncomfortable. Sometimes I'm working with a traditional law firm during the process, and it's another challenge. It's a challenge all the time, actually. And sometimes something happened, and I have a case about that. I think the first time that it's happened, it's very tough. During the process, the clients realized it was a partnership. They are a partner in a restaurant, and they decide not to continue the relationship during the process because they realize there is no alignment sufficient to continue. And they are friends, close friends, and they decide to take care of this friendship and not the relationship as a partner. And when it's happened, it was very tough to me because I think I do something wrong. I did something wrong. And then I realized I don't, because it's a way to prevent the conflict in the root. There is no align. Maybe they are doing this partnership during 1 year, 2 years, and then they broke up, be not a partnership anymore, and they're not friend anymore. And that's the reason that conflict happen in a small way. And sometimes this can have a big consequence. So doing this process, we have a lot of kind of things happen that we are not used to as a traditional lawyer.
Yeah, I can imagine that's actually super important for them to realize that we can't continue this we can't be partners in this business because then if they would have just continued and then, as you say, ended that partnership, that would have been much more painful and maybe costed more money.
Yeah, when we're thinking about business, most of my clients about business, alignment is very important. And in business, there is a lot of people involved, your employees. So sometimes it's tough not continue, but it's the better decision because continue is about to put a lot of money to hire a lot of people, and then this broke because there is no alignment, because nobody talking to you if your needs, your expectation about the relationship is in the same level. And we have this illusion that because when we start a partnership, of course you are happy, we just can see the good things, but the bad things happen. The life is not about just the weekends. a vacation. And so my work is to say the life is ordinary things. The life is developed in ordinary days. So let's see these ordinary days. There is alignment to see these people every day, to work with that every day. And what is your expectation? Because when you think in a partnership, the most of people that came to me, there is an illusion that is not expectation. And there is a lot of expectation. And if we talking about what is partnership to you and what is a partnership to me, we can say are completely different things. And my work is to put you to hear what is your expectation in that relationship. And sometimes it's tough to hear. Things is completely different from that people, that person that I choose to be my partner, I choose to be my wife or something like that. But it's better to hear now than 10 years after.
For sure. That's so interesting. Would you say that this conscious contract is more about the process of creating that contract before it's signed, or is it more about the content of the contract, or are they equally important?
They're equally important, but I think it's the most different, the most important. It's embrace this all the emotion, all the feelings, and deal with that. We put this we put this in all. I talking about the self-managed conflict clause. To it's a process for building that, and to build that we need to deal to all this subjective tough things that involve it. And this context is very important. It's more important than the paper. The paper can be very light or very simple, because sometimes when we're talking about a lot of our feelings, our phrase change during the process. The clients sometimes came with some fear, and the end of the process, that fear solved, and there is another kind of fear appear. And so we start, and we are really take care of this part, this contact first, and then of course the documents, it's important. But sometimes it's scary. At the end of the process, I think most of my clients realize that the legacy of all this process, it's about dialogue. It's about having a difficult conversation. And I'm very happy when they say that. And the end of the process, I spend a lot of energy to put all this in a beautiful document. But they say to me, it's nice. They are not they are not really want to see the document. It's not more important. It's because it's not just about a document. It's about all the process to build that. I think my service is the process.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine the difference between the old way of doing these contracts and then this new way of helping people. What is the feedback that you hear from your customers, and what's the impact that you see in their relationships?
One of the most important, it's about that the legacy of the dialogue. They are confident that they can having a difficult conversation, and they can have that without put other people involved, and they try to deal with the difficult things together. So not avoid the conflict. I think that's the big impact. uh, and then after that, I think it's an impact about legal service, to know that I can protect them for their lives. The choose, it's your responsibility. It's not mine as a lawyer. I can deal with uh, your ex-husband. The choose of your ex-husband is your. So this is, I think that it was very tough for me when I was a traditional lawyer, because the clients think I can deal with everything. I'm a super woman. I'm your mother, and I'm not your mother. You are an adult. I'm an adult too, and I think it's another different things, because as a traditional lawyer, the client unconscious think I'm their mother, that I can deal with everything without put them in their responsibility. Relationship is 50-50. Even you really believe that the problem is other people. And I say the problem is not other people. The problem is you. Everybody, it's we. Uh, so, and sometimes it's tough, but in the end of the process, they feel more confident. They feel an adult. They feel as a protagonist, as a paradigm. I try to put my clients as a paradigm of their lives. Even when thinking about legal things, they need to choose the way that they want to deal with the legal uh, things. So for doing that, I need to put my client as an adult, not as a child that the lawyer decide everything. I do that because my lawyer said that it's good. Not. I don't want to deal with that. That's the point. I think it's the most impact of the life is dialogue, and my clients feel confident for that they can deal with legal stuff, because legal stuff is support your life, not inverse.
Yeah. Yeah, they have agency over their own legal issues, and it's not up to up to lawyers to make those decisions.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to someone who would like to get started with this different approach with conscious contracts? How can someone get started?
Uh, so to start that, I think if you are, it's all the traditional tools that we have as a lawyers bother you. So you are the people. You are a person that need another tools, and there is a lot of. And when I teach in conscious contract, I try to say to my students that invent our other approach, because the word convoke to us to um, using our practice in the authentic way. So I using conscious contract. So what is the tool that you invent to support the word? Because the traditional way um, don't not more support the word. We living in a crazy times. So traditional tough don't care our problems anymore. There is a war in all over the world. So if the traditional way take care of that, we live in a quiet place. There is a lot of disbalance. So, and we are, as a lawyer, we live in a society that live in a rules. So we need to realize we can change all the things that we complain about. Um, Environment, about economies, there is a law that support that. So who is the people that do this law? It's a lawyer. So let's change that.
It's so beautiful, and a so beautiful and important reminder that especially in the world that we are now living in, with all these conflicts and all these horrors that we are seeing, this kind of approach to really I don't know, acknowledge the pain and try to deal with the conflict in advance. I mean, what could be more important than this? This is super important.
I don't know if you're thinking the same, but when I saw our legal system in all over the world, all of them is based on fear, and you need to thinking about basing on love. It's a choose, and every day it's easier. It's common to me, to my mind, to choose the fear, to protect, and how I can protect myself from another human being. That is 8 billion human beings here. I can hire myself at other people, and I can think other people is my enemy. We need to stop to think the people as an enemy, and separate the people like good people and evil people. There is no good and evil people. The strategy that you can use can be good or not, but we are the same. We can do everything. It's a choose. It's a choose, and we need, as a lawyer, to choose the love to do our work, not a fear. Not how can we can doing a contract to building a wall. We can building a bridge. So it's a choose. It's a choose that I can do. Of course, I need to protect my client. I need to use in the legal system traditional, but I can doing that. Even in the when the subject is difficult, it's tough, we can making a little step. So that's it. But choose the love in your practice, not the fear all the time.
That's a perfect way to end any discussion. Choose love over fear. That's so beautiful. Hey, before we go, tell us, where can people learn more about you and your work? We can put the website in the comments afterwards, so that people can find you.
I didn't talking a lot about, but we have a community in the world that is a lot of people to doing conscious contract. So that is a consciouscontract.com is our international website, and there we can learning more. King Wright, Linda Alvarez, the two lawyers that developed this approach, and all the practitioners that we have all over the world. And so I'm there, of course, and I have my website, and so it's in Portuguese word. I think I can chat here. It's easier, because I think it's tough to you to chat that in Portuguese. And so there's a website. We can see my work as a lawyer, and we can see my process as a teacher, conscious contact teacher too. And so I'm in Instagram, LinkedIn as a Fernanda Guerra, so it's easy to find me. I love people. I love getting in touch with people and have this kind of conversation in Instagram and LinkedIn, wherever is possible.
So do reach out to Fernanda if you're interested in the topic, and I think that this community is also a great way to learn more about conscious contracts. Thank you so much for spending this time here today with me and the audience. Thank you so much. This was so important discussion.
Thank you a lot. I'm very, very happy. I admire you all working a lot, and so that's I think I hope we can get in touch and change this world. Choose the love all the time. And
yes,
not fear.
We change the world together. Yes, perfect. Thank you, and thank you everybody for joining us today, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.